Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Fifth Quarter Podcast. It's your boys, Sean and Logan, back again another week, episode 5. Coming off a loss. What is it? Loss Monday? Would that be? Sad Boy Monday. That's what I'll call it. Jumping right into it. Question of the week. Sean asked on Twitter, after losing 2 games to bad teams and with the hardest stretch of the schedule coming up, how confident are you that the Browns will be above 500 when Deshaun Watson returns? 36% of the people said, pack it in, season's over. They got to be trolling. 64% of the people said, not losing faith yet. And I feel like that's like the common answer. I mean, come on. We've had 4 games. One of those losses, the Falcons loss, you could put a bunch of asterisk next to it. You never want to do that, but I mean, let's be real here. Excuses can be made, even though they shouldn't be. They can be made. If you're packing it in now, I question your football knowledge and your loyalty. So that's just me. I mean, I just feel like it's way too soon. I don't give a shit if it's the hardest stretch or not. I mean, just as it's professional football, just as unexpected as it was for the Browns to lose to the Falcons and the Jets, it could be the same way against, when we play the Chargers or, one of these good teams, the Buccaneers, something like that. So hardest stretch or not, I'm confident we'll be at least at 500 when Deshaun Watson returns. What do you think?
I kind of understand. I don't want to completely bash the 36% who said pack it in, because looking at the next 7 games, first glance, yeah, it would look like, hey, basing it off of how we played in these first 4 games, you could say, yeah, we're fucked. Now, we know that's not how the NFL works. It never has been.
Yeah.
Bad teams beat good teams. Good teams have off days, injuries, weather. There's so many different factors that go into, winning football games that you can't just look at the schedule and be like, loss. It's just impossible. But I understand it, just based off of the performance we've seen 3 out of the 4 games this season. I voted not losing faith yet because, like I just said, and like you touched on, just as if we lost to the Falcons and Jets, the Chargers could lose to us, the Bucks, the Bills, the Dolphins. You know what I mean? Like anybody can beat anybody in the NFL any time of the week, any day. It doesn't matter what the records are. It doesn't matter how good a team is, if Super Bowl favorites. It doesn't matter. We see it all the time, and we've seen it this year a bunch. And I don't think the Browns are really a bad team. Like they're not in there with the Giants of the world or anybody, the Commander. Those teams that are just bad. I don't think we have that. So I think it's we definitely have to win some games now that we probably would have chalked up as losses at the beginning of the season to make up for those losses we had, but it's not impossible. We play our brand of football, and literally anything is possible. So, not losing faith yet.
Yeah, I mean, just as we've had injuries, other teams can have injuries. You know what I mean? So, I'm not packing it in until after this stretch. That'll give me an opinion on that after these next 6 games. So, that being said, moving right along, Browns versus Falcons recap. This game really pissed me off. Not because they lost, just like, I don't know, dude. I was watching the game and they were up, let me see, what was it? 22. I don't even know. Did they score a touchdown in the fourth quarter, right? I think it was like
The
2017.
Falcons did, I think, yeah.
Yeah, it was like 20-17. And I was like, I just knew like something just didn't feel right. Like, I don't know. I just like I just wasn't happy. Like at one point I think it was like 20-10.
I'm
Yeah,
looking right now at the quarters.
I'm pretty sure we scored the first touchdown of the fourth quarter and it was 20-10. I want to say no. No. No, it was 13-10 and then 17-13 cuz Caleb Huntley got a touchdown and that's when Nick Chubb had his touchdown. So yeah, I was wrong. So yeah, it was 2017 with 9 minutes left in the fourth and I was just like, I don't know, dude, something's fishy. And then they tied it up and then they got the ball back. I think we went like 3 and out or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then they went up and then yeah, I don't know. It pissed me off. Anyway, getting ahead of myself. Break down the score and you know the stats and everything. So yeah, Browns lost 23-20. Jacoby Brissett, you know, this was probably his worst game of the season. And he was 21 of 35, 234 yards, and he threw that pick in the fourth quarter, 2-minute drill driving. Some questionable play calling. Why the fuck are we having him throw the ball 35 times? I don't like that. And that was like another weird vibe I got at the beginning of the game. Like we just like threw the ball. Like I think the first drive of the game. Let me see. The first 3 plays were the first play he threw to DPJ for 13 yards. But was it a false start? No, and then there was a false start. Then we threw it to David Njoku. Then we ran the ball. Then we threw it again. I don't like throwing the ball 6-7 times on the first like drive. That just like does something to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I did notice that. It seemed like they were trying to maybe catch the defense off guard, which I get. You don't want them to. Well, actually, I don't really get it. The Falcons knew you were going to run the ball. You have a better run offense than they do a run defense. Run the goddamn ball.
Yeah.
At least to establish some confidence in the offense, the offensive line, and things like that. And then, obviously, as the game goes on, you open some things up, that sort of thing. Like we've said, for every episode for the last 3 years, offensive game plan should always be run first. Always.
Yeah, stop like straying away from the bread.
I mean, I know Nick Chubb had 118 yards, and that's great. He's going to do that probably 90% of the time. I don't see why the game was close enough, even when we were down. Why was Brissett throwing so much?
Right.
We didn't need to. I mean, Chubb had 49 yards. You give him 5 more rushes, he probably could get up to 60, 70. Maybe breaks a long one for a touchdown. Who knows? But we weren't playing catch up the entire game. I don't understand why Brissett should throw the ball 35 times. And we've said too, anywhere between that 20 to 25 range as far as completions go, I'm good. I don't want to see 21 or 35. Make it 20 of 27, 20 of 25, or something along those lines.
Right. 30 max. I mean,
30 max. Like, why is he throwing? Unless it's a blowout. Like, we're down 14 points at halftime. Okay, you obviously have to throw the second half to try to catch up. That wasn't the case. So I don't like. We were down 10-0 after the first quarter. Scored 10 points in the second quarter. It was tied at halftime, 10-10. What makes you think? And then we scored the only points in the third quarter. Why are you throwing the ball so much? I just don't. It doesn't make sense to me, and that's what I talk about when I say that he tries to Stefanski tries to outsmart himself in games, and I don't get it.
Yeah, questionable play calling. This gives me like last season vibes with Baker Mayfield. Like the run with David Njoku. Why? What is the reasoning behind that?
I wish I could go back and find where that happened in the drive, because I honestly feel like it was a drive where we were moving the ball, and then it was like,
I'll tell you.
Let's break out this. I'll look at the play-by-play. It was early. I want to say
it was. Oh, I don't even know.
I'll find it. So that was first quarter. It wasn't in the first quarter.
It was literally a 6-yard
loss. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, right here. It was in the second quarter. We started out with the ball on the 20. I think it was a touchback. Nick Chubb rush. Then Harrison Bryant had a 2-yard catch. Then Harrison Bryant had a 5-yard catch. It's 4th and 1. Jacoby Brissett got it. Nick Chubb rushed to the right or rushed to the left 13 yards. And then we run the ball with David Njoku.
That was the second quarter, you said?
Yeah, with 2 minutes left. We got the ball on the 20. We had moved the ball 28 yards.
16 play drive, right?
It's like I said, we got the ball on the 20, moved the ball 28 yards. Coming off a 13-yard gain from Nick Chubb, it's 1st and 10, and we run the ball with David Njoku.
Stupid.
He gets a 6-yard loss. Luckily, David Bell gets a 15-yard gain, and then that was the 42-yard shot to Donovan Peoples-Jones. And I think we ended it with a field goal. Yeah. Which this is another thing, right? First and 1 on the Atlanta 1-yard line. Nick Chubb rushed to the right, no gain.
Oh yeah.
2nd down, incomplete pass. Why are we passing the ball?
Literally.
Then
give Nick Chubb 4 times in a row.
Yeah, and then
or counterpoint, give the Nick Chubb on first down. Okay, that doesn't work.
Sorry, there was a holding.
It was
call.
A penalty. Yeah,
it was a holding call. Yeah, on 2nd and 1
on the pass play. Right?
No.
Oh.
No, it was. I think it was on the Chubb run.
Oh. Okay.
I don't know. Yahoo's got this all fucked up. Either way. No, I don't know.
Let's see. 1st and 10. Nick Chubb to the left, 1 yard. It doesn't show the penalty. I don't think there was. 1st and 10 at the 11. Nick Chubb rushed to the left for 1 yard. 2nd and 9. Brissett pass to Harrison Bryant for 8 yards. 3rd and 1 at the Atlanta 2. Chubb rushed to the left for negative 2 yards. 4th and 3. Jacoby Brissett pass incomplete. They were far enough away from the end zone to where they could have gotten the first down.
That was the first. Is that the first drive you're talking about where we didn't take?
I think so. Yeah, the very first.
Yeah, that's not the one I'm talking about. I'm talking about the drive when David Njoku got the 6-yard loss.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, that was at the end of the second quarter.
Yeah.
There was 11 seconds left, and yeah. Either way, we're wasting too much time.
Just boneheaded. It just time management just seemed odd this game.
Yeah.
And I don't know why.
And that, another thing, I just felt like the offense wasn't as productive as it was in other games. This entire game, we started the first drive with a 4th and whatever it was, and we don't get it. We get stopped on the goal line instead of kicking the field goal. Second drive, David Njoku fucking fumbles the ball.
After a big gain.
Yeah.
That was a flea flicker, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it was 20 yards.
Yeah. Hold on the goddamn ball.
Yeah, I don't know.
When your offense is stagnant, you can't have plays like that where you have one play that finally opens things up and kind of catches the defense by surprise, and then you fumble the football. Yeah. Because then you're just going to go conservative the rest of the game. Which is,
this last point, before we move on, is what scares me the most about this week's upcoming game. And it's just the defense just completely going Casper the Friendly Ghost.
Wait, can you read my line in the agenda?
the Joe Woods disappearing defense trick works again. Another big pass play when it matters the most. In the fourth quarter, they had a 42-yard bomb on, I don't know if it was blown coverage or just
knows anymore, bro.
It's the defense didn't play terrible. Like the front line, the front four, they held
we had a pass interference from their own 9-yard line. 42-yard pass interference.
Yeah. Despicable. But like I was saying,
no.
It was
42-yard pass in a face mask, sorry.
Yeah. Cordero Patterson. We did pretty well, against him in the first half. He had like the first touchdown, and then he just like disappeared, and their run offense was like completely gone until the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And like late in the fourth quarter, Caleb Huntley came in, ran the ball I think 10 times, and got 5 first downs in the same drive, or throughout the whole game. But in like a quarter and a half, he was just running the ball down our throats.
Yeah, wide open, just out in the open.
So I guess I shouldn't say that the defensive line played well, because they disappeared as well. Same thing with the secondary. I mean, I don't know. Denzel had that interception, which was like the highlight of the secondary, but like other than that, they were just non-existent. And something's got to give, because it's been every fucking game where they just like at a certain point look lost.
Yeah, and I don't understand how 4 games into the season, how that keeps happening. I don't know if it's the scheme. It can't be the players. I mean, we have one of the best, on paper, secondaries in the league. And it always seems to be like a big play will happen, and you look at this, when they show the secondary, it's just guys looking at each other like, what the fuck happened? And it's like, to me, that's a communication thing, a scheme thing. A guy was, somebody thought a guy was supposed to be in a specific spot. He wasn't. They weren't. Big play, Why that keeps happening for us in the season is beyond me.
Yeah, there's something, I don't want to say something going on, but definitely something that's not clicking, I think is the best way to put it. And talking about the defense and Joe Woods and his disappearing act, we'll jump right into the Browns versus Chargers this week. Number one thing is, I mean, Joe Woods has got to pull a rabbit out of the hat with the defense. I mean, I know the Chargers are missing an offensive tackle. I know they're 2-2 as well. I don't want to say Justin Herbert is banged up, but he played well last week. Granted, they were playing the Texans. So really, not a tough opponent, but I don't know. Our secondary needs to be in tip-top shape. And, coming into a game like this, and I don't mean to not let you get a word in about the defense. I just want to say this while it's on the tip of my tongue. Games like this is like, okay, we know that they're like a good team. Like I'm optimistic that it will be a close game. I think our defense will play well. I think they'll be ready because they know that this team is a contender. The Chargers were very good last year. I know their record, they're not 4-0 or 3-1, but I mean they're contenders in their division, if you ask me. So I would like to be optimistic and say that the defense comes ready.
So. I mean, they have to. John Johnson's came out today and said, if there's a game where we all have to be locked in every play, it's this game. And he's 100% right.
Yep.
If you're not, you will get torched multiple times. Just like what happened last year. There were a lot of big plays. Mike Williams caught a bunch. I know Austin Eckler had a lot of big plays. you got to limit those if you want to have any chance at all. I think, and if I'm Stefanski, I'm kind of preaching this week. You win this game on Sunday, the debacle against Atlanta, the debacle against New York is kind of washed away. Yeah. This game could be that big of a statement of a game that if they win it, it kind of cancels out those other two, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because of how good the Chargers are offensively, and because if we win this game, it's going to have to be because of our defense. They're going to make plays at some point, which has been the biggest question mark. So I think that would be that big of a statement win, and then they're kind of you're starting fresh going into week 5 against a banged up New England team, which that's another game we can steal. So I think they really have to focus on this week of finding a way, gritting it out, getting away from the stupid mistakes, playing a perfect game of football. Nobody plays perfect games of football. It doesn't happen often, but you gotta at least do your best to get as close of a perfect game in a game like this as you can, or else you will lose by a lot.
Yeah, you gotta. I mean, and I don't want it to be a shootout, because when you're Justin Herbert versus Jacoby Brissett, obviously I don't want Jacoby Brissett going into a shootout. But I think we can control the pace of the game if we just run the ball. And don't.
Interesting tidbit as you say that. I saw today the Chargers defense is ranked 30th against the rush.
See,
30th.
You know me. Rushing yards against per game. This is just rushing yards. They are 14th. But I mean, that's just.
Yeah, I'm talking DVOA is the stat that I saw. I don't know exactly what that breaks down to.
Yeah,
but I mean, there's a lot of factors into it. But
yeah, but you look at the 4 teams that they've played: the Raiders, the Chiefs, Jacksonville, and Houston.
Okay, so
they don't have great running backs.
It's defense adjusted value over average. So defensive rankings, which are adjusted to take into account the quality of offensive opponents. So like the opponents they played obviously are dog shit. That's why they are ranked so low in DVA for rushing, because I'm pretty sure they got shredded by the Texans.
And the Browns outrank these guys in just about every category that matters. Points scored per game, Browns are 6th. Total yards per game, the Browns are 5th. Passing yards per game, obviously the Chargers are 1st because they just sling it. Rushing yards per game, the Chargers are 32nd with 64. The Browns are 2nd they're averaging 187 rush yards per game. Time of possession per game. I think this is a very underrated statistic. The Browns are 1st in the NFL with time of possession per game. They average 35 minutes and 38 seconds. The Chargers are 18th. If you go into this game and you control, like I just said before I even saw this stat, if we can control the pace of the game with the run, that'll be a huge factor. And I know you have it wrote down, keep the Chargers offense off the field as much as possible. This is a huge statistic that I think a lot of people will probably overlook. That's how we have to play this game. You know what I mean? Because you're not going tick for tack with the Chargers and Justin Herbert. You're just not with Jacoby Brissett. Deshaun Watson, 100% fire at will, but not with Jacoby Brissett because it just doesn't. It's just not in his wheelhouse. So points against per game, Chargers are 30th. Teams are averaging 27. So that just shows me their defense is, shaky. They're 20th in the league in total yards against per game. Teams are averaging 350 yards on these motherfuckers. So the stats that count, the Browns are favored in a lot of those. So I don't know. That's just my, me. I'm a big statistic guy. So
yeah, I think it's pretty. Pretty simple. Like you said, you keep their offense off the field. You control the clock. You score. You just put that much more pressure on their offense as the time dwindles down in the game. to try to make plays, and that is when mistakes will happen. If you capitalize on those mistakes, they have no shot.
Yeah.
I know it sounds simple when I say it, but
yeah, these guys are gonna throw the ball a lot. We have to capitalize and get takeaways. You know what I mean? Justin Herbert.
Takeaways should just keep them out of position. You know,
yeah.
You get a 1st and 10, you get a sack for 6 yards. That's a drive killer. On 2nd and 7, you get a sack for -6 yards. That's a drive killer. You know, so that stuff. I expect Myles Garrett to have a big game. As far as I know, he's back this week. He practiced fully today. Their left tackle is out. If I'm Myles Garrett, I'm licking my chops.
Yep.
You know, because I feel a little bit, I don't want to say responsible, after last week, what happened, obviously he would have been a big contributing factor in that game. I think it probably would have been a different result as far as them running down our throat if we had him out there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this game if it's my first game back without their offensive tackle.
Yeah, and if I'm Nick Chubb and Joey Bosa's out, I like that too. Same thing with Jacoby Brissett. That's just another person that is not pressuring me off the edge. So
yeah, I mean, you really just, you just have to worry about Khalil Mack. I know that's absolutely asinine of me to say, but
yeah.
Our
it's
offensive one less thing you got to worry about.
Yeah, and if there's an offensive line that I want going against a guy like that, it's the Browns.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, I'm pretty optimistic going into this. I know a lot of people on Twitter are like, it's the Chargers. People are already throwing the towel in for this game as well. But I think this is going to be a good game. If you remember in years past, the Browns always play the Chargers well. As of late, with Baker Mayfield, I'm pretty sure last year we'd lost to the Chargers, but it was like it
was a shootout. It was like 45-42.
Yeah, it was a pretty good game. So, I expect a decent game. Moving right along, we got another hot Twitter topic. Last week we talked about, I don't remember what it was, but it was another.
Should Jacoby Brissett replace Watson even when he's back?
Yeah, that's what it was. This week we got another hot Twitter topic. Is this supposed to say trending or treading? Is Stefanski trending to be on the hot seat this season? Could be both, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's too early to tell.
No. The answer is no.
I just like Kevin Stefanski has his moments where he's questionable, but overall, I think Kevin Stefanski puts the Browns in the best position to win as a coach.
100%, and even aside from that, it has nothing to even do with, in my opinion, the first 4 games of the season. Andrew Berry, the Haslams, they're not going to hold. Now, granted, they want the Browns to do good in this first 11, 12 games, 150%. They'd be stupid not to.
Yeah.
They're not going to hold this season's overall grade of Kevin Stefanski against him when his superstar quarterback hasn't taken a snap.
Yeah.
And it, to me, is as simple as that. Now, if we collapse in the final 6 games, if we're above 500 when Watson comes back and we shit the bed the last 6 games, then yes, you can have that conversation. But right now, 4 weeks into the season, you cannot even remotely say that he's anywhere near his seat isn't even lukewarm at this point. Not even close.
Yeah, I think people that are blaming Stefanski, and there's somebody that I work with that likes to blame Stefanski, I just feel like they're looking for somebody to blame. And the quarterback hasn't been the problem.
No.
Surprisingly this year, like it was last year. And surprise, surprise, this same person that I work with that wants to put Kevin Stefanski on the hot seat didn't want Jacoby Brissett to be the quarterback either. So if that tells me anything, it just tells me this person doesn't know football. But nevertheless.
Bro, the one thing I tweeted this, sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. Monday after the loss, I tweeted this Monday. I don't know if it was Monday morning. You will truly find out who doesn't know ball the morning after a loss, because of the things that people say on the TL first thing Monday morning before I even have my cup of coffee. is just absolute blasphemy, bro. When I first saw that, the people were like, "Get Stefanski out of here," I said, "Are you out of your mind?"
Well, that's like fucking after week 2. It was the whole Nick Chubb thing. Like, oh, Nick Chubb should have went down. He's the reason we lost the game. It's like, I mean, I don't know. It's you.
If there's one thing I've learned from Brown's Twitter, it is that after a loss, people are not reasonable, and they always have to have. There's some sort of drama that always has to be stirred up every single game. And I'm not even counting the Joe Woods stuff because everybody tweets, trolling or not, that they want Joe Woods to be fired. I don't really take that seriously.
And I'm
as like drama.
Yeah.
But the Stefanski stuff, the Nick Chubb stuff, the not wanting to Brissett to, I mean, because we saw that in preseason. Josh Dobbs had 2 good preseason games, and all of a sudden they wanted him to be the starter. You know, like it was like, come on, let's use our brains, let's think logically here,
and
calm the fuck down.
I'm glad that you bring up Joe Woods, and this is the last thing I want to say. I don't want to give a lot of, I don't want to say time, a lot of my just breath, my life, talking about these dumbass hot Twitter topics. Unless it's a good one where I agree with it, then I'll more than gladly talk about it. But these asinine fucking topics just, they're laughable. But I'm glad that you bring up Joe Woods, because I think it's going to be hard for Stefanski to be on the hot seat this year at all when Joe Woods is still like on the team, because I just feel like he's taking up so much of that. I don't want to say hot seat again, but he takes
up the blame.
Yeah, because there's been 4 weeks in a row where he has just stunk it up, you know. And
sorry, go ahead.
I don't know what I was going to say because you cut me the hell off.
My bad. I was just going to say, too, one thing you can't hold against Stefanski, yes, he's the head coach. He's calling plays, and the Browns' offense is top 5 in the league right now.
Yeah.
So you can't really blame Stefanski that much. People are calling for him to stop calling plays, and it's like, why? His plays are working.
Yeah, I mean,
you know, there are a few plays here and there that we shouldn't run. You know, sure, aka the reverse with the fucking tight end. Sure, absolutely. Find me a coach in the NFL who doesn't have 1 or 2 calls in a game where he wish he has back.
Yeah, I mean,
it just happens.
The
numbers don't lie.
You look at our offensive stats, right? Points scored per game, we're 6th. Total yards per game, we're 5th. Passing yards per game, we're 25th. Granted, don't need to pass the ball. That 25th ranking isn't because of Kevin Stefanski. Rushing yards per game, we're 2nd. Time of possession per game, like I stated earlier, we're 1st. Those are all offensive statistics. And we're top 6 in 4 out of 5.
With a backup quarterback.
With a backup quarterback who doesn't pass.
We're 25th in passing, I get that. But he's still leading the team down the field. Yes. You know, those few times we do pass the ball, he's making plays for the most part.
I mean, he's averaging 207 passing yards a game. That's more than enough.
Yeah. A lot of credit goes to Nick Chubb for the runs that he puts off. But who's calling that play?
Exactly.
Who's saying
that's my
I want Nick Chubb to go off the left tackle to let's pull the guard and chip this line. It's Kevin Stefanski who's doing that.
Yes, that's my point.
So
that's my point. And I don't see that changing. They've seen success with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt in every single game. So I don't see that changing. I don't see Kevin Stefanski waking up one morning saying, we're going to run the wing tee. Or we're going to run the read option with Nick Chubb. I don't think I think they're just going to continue to run the ball the way they have because they've saw success in it. The 2 losses the Browns have, you can argue until you're blue in the face, but it's not the offense's fault. So, with that being said, that's all I want to talk about, that dumbass hot Twitter topic. These people are stupid. We got the quick picks, locks, and upsets. And I just want to say, I find it odd find it odd that last week, when you picked more correct games than I, you send me the sheet that the statistician fills out, rubbing it in my face that you beat me. But then when I win, you don't send me shit. I got to find out that I won on the goddamn agenda. That's a little fucked up, isn't it?
No, I just forgot to send the sheet this week.
So yeah, your boy
last.
your boy won last week. We're 2-2. Like I said, no biggie. No biggie. Yeah. And I will be sure this week, per our statistician's request, to clearly speak out my locks and upsets, because there must have been some sort of, I don't know. I don't want to get too funny, haha, because I don't want to offend them, and but so I'm not going to
on the first 48.
Yeah, it won't be the fifth quarter podcast. It'll be the first 48 podcast. I don't want to make any dementia jokes or anything. Let me just get that out there. So I will be sure to speak my locks and upsets clearly so that they're very well understood and there are no misconceptions. So with that being said, just wanted to get that out there. Disclaimer. Do you have your locks and upsets? Because I don't have mine.
I don't. I'm looking through it right now.
All right. Well,
I got an upset.
Let's hear it.
Because
I got a lock.
I'm eerily weird in a weird way. Like backing myself into being confident about this game. And maybe it's just because we talked about it for the last 40 minutes, but I'm taking the Browns over the Chargers, dude.
Oh, get real. Of course.
We're at home. It's a bounce back game. It's a must win. Myles Garrett's back. Let's get this fucking dub.
I like it. All right. What is your lock?
My lock.
Yeah.
What? This could have been another upset too, but I'm not gonna pick it.
It's mine. You want me to say it?
Yeah, go ahead and say it.
My upset. Actually, I'll wait because I don't want to confuse anybody.
Okay, well, let me find my lock then. Okay, my lock. I will take the Eagles over the Cardinals.
I literally knew you were gonna pick that. That's a good ass lock.
How in the hellski are the Cardinals favored by 3?
They're not.
They're -3.
On Yahoo, Philly is -5.
Oh, on CBS NFL, the Cardinals are -3.
Yeah, see.
Oh, wait, it says latest odds +5 for the Cardinals. Don't know why that was the opening line, but okay. I'm still going to go with the Eagles over the Cardinals.
Yeah, that's a good lock. So my upset is going to be the Ravens over the Bengals.
Oh, okay.
Or my lock. My bad. I
make sure you repeat that.
Yeah. My lock, not my upset. Get some white out. The Baltimore Ravens over the Bengals. The Ravens are favored by 3. That is my lock. My upset. I'm not doing what you think I'm gonna do, so don't even think. Just kidding. My upset is the Dallas Cowboys over the Los Angeles Rams. Dak Prescott is back. They're gonna light it up in SoFi.
He is not back.
Oh yeah, never mind. He's out. I forgot. I did read yet this morning that they were saying this week. So damn it. I'm still taking the Cowboys over the Rams.
I got one thing to say to that.
Stay off the weed.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Listen, bro. The Rams just got embarrassed by the 49ers. Okay?
They did.
So, Cooper Rush, Andy Dalton, whoever you want to call it, they both look alike. He's playing some good football. And I don't really feel comfortable with any other upsets. Let me look here real quick.
I'll bring one up. We could talk about it when we talk about this matchup. I'm blown away at the spread of this game. I don't want to bring it up now because we'll just go through the games, but
Okay.
we'll talk about it when we get there.
I think I have an idea of what game it could be, but either way, first game we got the Colts versus the Denver Broncos. Denver just lost their running back.
So did Indy.
I'm going Broncos.
Crying real tears over here.
I'm going Broncos.
Yeah, if Jonathan Taylor was playing, I would say the Colts, but now it's essentially Russell Wilson versus Matt Ryan, and I think we all know who the better quarterback of the two is.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take the Broncos.
Then we have this matchup, the Giants versus Green Bay. I'm going to take Green Bay.
Yeah, although New York is 3-1, they don't scare me at all. And I'm pretty sure Daniel Jones is out, so the Packers may win by 20.
They're favored by 8. But I seen this graphic today on Facebook that was talking about the Cowboys, the Eagles, and the Giants all being 3-1, 3-1, and 4-0. And they were talking about their division. And I'm just like, the Giants and respectively, I know I like the Cowboys. Those guys are not as legit as the Eagles. Like, don't even put a flame to the Cowboys and the Giants doing anything this season. Like, maybe the Cowboys, but the Giants are dumpster juice, bro. That 3-1 record is just not real, pretty much. So, either way. Then the next game we got, this is hilarious. Fucking hilarious. Excuse my French. The Steelers versus the Bills in Buffalo. Buffalo is favored by 14 points. That is just a glorious, glorious sign. Give me the Bills.
Give me the Bills by more than 14.
Yes, 100%. It's going to be a bloodbath. Then we have the Chargers and the Browns. This was Sean's upset. You already know I'm taking the Browns every day of the week, twice on Sunday. You already know how it goes. And that's not just me saying that because that's my catchphrase. I really do feel like the Browns can win this game. I know I'm biased, but either way. Then we have the Bears versus the Vikings. I'm going to go ahead and go with the Vikings.
Yeah, the Chicago Bears front office, coaching staff, training staff, water boys, everybody on that sideline should be arrested and jailed for what they're doing to my boy Justin Fields. It's downright criminal, if I'm being honest with you. They're going to be on the first 48. I'm actually going to take the Vikings. Sadly, I wish they could do something for Justin Fields. The guy's running for his life back there. But I think the Vikings, they played well last week in London against the Saints, edged out a win in the end. So I think they keep that rolling.
Yeah, even though you picked the Saints and I picked the Vikings and the Vikings win, you were wrong. But yeah, I agree with your pick. This next game was the game I think you were talking about that could be another upset is the Lions versus the Patriots, right?
100%.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Lions.
I'm going with the Lions. The Patriots are -3 with a backup quarterback. I don't know how that's possible. The Lions are top 5 in the NFL as far as offense goes.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's points per game or whatever offense efficiency, but they're losing some close games, and I know nobody thought the Lions would do that this year, but they're surprising some people, so I'm going to take the Lions this week.
Is Amon-Ra St. Brown back?
I don't know. I'd have to check. I'm still going to take him.
He's not on the injury report.
Then I would say yeah.
So, points scored per game and total yards per game. The Lions are first in both of those. Unbelievable. Passing yards per game, they're 5th. Rushing yards per game, they're 6th. Unbelievable. Jared Goff has thrown 11 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. This guy is playing like he did when he took the Rams to the Super Bowl. All right. Good for the Lions. Good for Lions fans. I know they've suffered long enough. As a Browns fan, I can relate to that, so I feel for them. It sucks that they're 1-3, but it is what it is. Like you said they've lost some close games. You see, yeah, they competed with Philly week 1, beat Washington, competed with Minnesota, shootout with Seattle. Yeah, I like it. So yeah, give me the Lions over the Patriots. Sorry, I don't mean to ramble on, but yeah. Then we have Seattle versus New Orleans. Give me the Saints. Is Jameis Winston back this week?
I don't know, but I'm gonna take the Seahawks. Gino, he's balling, dude. They wrote him off, but he ain't right back. He's balling, dude. He's starting to click with Metcalf and Lockett, and
yeah, bro.
The running back, I don't remember his name. He ran for like 130 yards last week. So they're starting to get it together. So I'm gonna actually take the Seahawks.
I like it. Shout out to Geno Smith. Then we have Miami versus the Jets. Tua playing this game or no?
No, they ruled him out like after the game.
Okay.
Last week.
Either way, Teddy B. I think he's okay. I think he's decent. He didn't play terrible last year in Denver, so
they should win this game with the weapons they have.
They should, 100%. Then we have the Falcons versus Tampa Bay.
You didn't even let me take that pick.
Come on now. Are you picking the Jets?
I don't know, man. They did beat our Browns. The MILF Hunter is back.
He played terrible last week.
Yeah, I'm taking the Dolphins.
Why would you? I just honestly want to know why you wouldn't continue to play fucking, what's his name, Joe Flacco.
Because he was their first overall pick.
But the dude was butt cheeks last year.
Yeah.
And you come out and Joe Flacco has some big games. I mean, he had some big games.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I get it. Play for the future, not the past. So yeah, Falcons versus Tampa Bay. I'm taking Tampa Bay. It's no brainer.
Yeah, they're gonna bounce back after last week for sure. They got their asses kicked.
Who'd they play last week?
Kansas City.
Oh yeah. Kansas City. Did they beat their ass? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Patrick Mahomes had that like little flick pass to my man, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Then we have Tennessee versus the Washington Commanders. Titans, I think. I'm gonna go Titans.
Yeah, both teams are dog shit. Neither team really has anything going for them, but I'm gonna take the lesser of the two dog shit teams and say the Titans.
Then we have Houston versus Jacksonville. Houston is even more dog shit than Tennessee and Washington, so give me the Jags.
Last year we would have called this game the dumpster fire game of the week. This year we're not doing that, dude. I'm taking the Jaguars. They might hang a lot of points on them.
Yeah,
and Houston even, bro, they put up a lot of points on LA last week, so this could be a potential shootout.
Yeah. Granted, the Chargers were up like 27-7, and then they started coming back. But nevertheless, give me the Jags. Then we have the Niners versus the Carolina Panthers. Give me the 49ers by more than 6.5 because Baker Mayfield is just downright atrocious.
Yeah, I'm going to take the 49ers. They had a pretty convincing or super convincing win against the Rams on Monday night. So I think they're starting to become that 49er team who people kind of don't count on, and they just start to run through and beat the shit out of everybody.
Oh, yeah.
And I love it now. I didn't love it 3 years ago when it happened, but Nick Bosa versus Baker Mayfield, there's that underlying, I guess, fuel that they have going back to the Ohio State, Oklahoma days.
He's going to run him.
So I think that Nick Bosa really looks forward to playing Baker Mayfield, and I think he's going to have himself a day. And I'm going to take the 49ers.
Then we have the Cowboys versus the Rams. This was my upset. Could be a big bounce back game for the Rams. They got embarrassed the other night against the 49ers. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Rams. No disrespect to Cooper Rush and what he's been doing. I just think the Rams
Are a better
are
team.
they're gonna bounce back.
The
They
biggest
still have a
thing,
good.
the biggest thing with the Rams, and I don't mean to cut you off, is they don't have a run identity.
They don't have any identity outside of Cooper Kupp,
And Tyler Higbee. Cooper Kupp had 19 targets. Tyler Higbee, I think, had 14.
Yeah.
And
what teams are going to do, and I didn't mean to cut you off, even though you just cut me off. Teams are going to say, don't even worry about Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
One man is not going to beat us.
Yeah.
And I think that's what teams are starting to do. That's why he's still going bonkers on the stat sheet.
I have him on fantasy, so
and they're still losing. Like he had 19 targets last week, and they still lost by what, 2 touchdowns?
Oh, it was like 27-9.
Yeah, so they're
Matt Stafford threw that pick 6.
Yeah, teams are just like, fuck it, let Kupp run wild, let him do what he needs to do. We'll stop literally everybody else.
You're so pass heavy because you don't have a run game. Cam Akers was super highly favored to come back and just play great, and he's butt. So, yeah, I mean they have to.
They're gonna start putting Al Robinson's face on milk cartons because he's absolutely nowhere to be seen.
I think he had 1 target or 1 reception last game for 9 yards.
Which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Then we have Sean's lock, Philly versus Arizona Cardinals. Like this pick. Give me Philly. I think Philly's legit. I really do. Then we have the Bengals versus the Ravens. Baltimore is favored by 3. This game's in Baltimore. This was my lock. I'm taking the Ravens.
Yeah, I'll take the Ravens. I like Lamar.
Yeah.
This game is probably going to be a shootout too.
Yeah. Speaking of Lamar Jackson, though, I was watching Michael Vick highlights the other day. And granted, he has more rushing touchdowns and rushing yards as a quarterback than Michael Vick does. I think Michael Vick was a better quarterback than Lamar Jackson.
Oof. That's another topic for another day. We could go deep down that rabbit hole.
Dude, some of the highlights that Michael Vick has, he had literally a 90-yard bomb to Deshaun Jackson. The distance the ball went just from his hand into Deshaun Jackson's hands was 70 yards. Unreal. Lamar Jackson is not doing that. And that happened multiple times. There were multiple plays in Atlanta and Philly where he just threw absolute bombs on the run. I just think breaking it down, Lamar Jackson and him are the same, but they're different too. So, I don't know. I just wanted to throw that in there since we brought up Lamar. Then the last game Monday night is the Raiders versus the Chiefs. Give me the Chiefs. They're favored by 7.
Yeah, the Chiefs they're starting to get it together. Everyone was concerned with them not having Hill, who was going to be their second guy outside of Kelsey. And it's not really one guy. They kind of spread it around. I know Juju's kind of starting to pick up some more target share. They're running the ball more. They're using 2 running backs. It's not all one guy.
Hilaire is playing well.
Yeah, Isaac Pacheco is playing really well. They're getting Scandling involved. Obviously, Hardman's still involved. So they have a lot of weapons.
Yeah.
So I'm taking the Chiefs very confidently in this game.
Yeah, Juju saw 8 targets last week. MVS saw 5. I don't know who Sky Moore is, but he had 4 targets. So, and yeah, Patrick Mahomes is just unreal. Greatest quarterback we've ever seen. So, yeah, give me the Chiefs. You got anything else you want to add? I think
I'm just going to act like you didn't just say that.
We can end the episode on a truth like that. You know what I mean? It's a real, just cold hard fact.
It's 0 truths and a lie.
Okay. Okay. Well, if you don't got nothing, I don't got nothing. That's going to wrap it up. Thank you guys for tuning in. We drop episodes every Thursday morning. And as always, we'll see you guys on the other side.